Lesson 30. The death of a ghost. How can a ghost die? You see after listening to the text. Now first listen and try to answer this question. Why did the two brothers keep the secret? 两兄弟为什么要保守这个秘密？
For years, villagers believed that Endley Farm was haunted. The farm was owned by two brothers, Joe and Bob Cox. They employed a few farmhands, but no one was willing to work there long. Every time a worker gave up his job, he told the same story. Farm labourers said that they always woke up to find that work had been done overnight. Hay had been cut and cowsheds had been cleaned. A farm worker who stayed up all night claimed to have seen a figure cutting corn in the moonlight. In time, it became an accepted fact that the Cox brothers employed a conscientious ghost that did most of their work for them. No one suspected that there might be someone else on the farm who had never been seen. This was indeed the case. A short time ago, villagers were astonished to learn that the ghost of Endley had died. Everyone went to the funeral, for the ghost was none other than Eric Cox, a third brother who was supposed to have died as a young man. After the funeral, Joe and Bob revealed a secret which they had kept for over 50 years. Eric had been the eldest son of the family, very much older than his two brothers. He had been obliged to join the army during the Second World War. As he hated army life, he decided to desert his regiment. When he learned that he would be sent abroad, he returned to the farm and his father hid him until the end of the war. Fearing the authorities, Eric remained in hiding after the war as well. His father told everybody that Eric had been killed in action. The only other people who knew the secret were Joe and Bob. They did not even tell their wives. When their father died, they thought it their duty to keep Eric in hiding. All these years, Eric had lived as a recluse. He used to sleep during the day and work at night, quite unaware of the fact that he had become the ghost of Endley. When he died, however, his brothers found it impossible to keep the secret any longer.
Are you able to answer the question now? Why did the two brothers keep the secret? Right, because they thought it was their duty to go on protecting him. 因为两兄弟认为他们有责任继续保护他。So now we know the ghost was actually a human being. But the first paragraph of the text tells us how readily people accepted that it must be a ghost. 但是课文第一段呢，向我们说明，人们毫不迟疑的就相信真的有一个鬼存在。And then the second paragraph explains why Eric had to be a ghost. 课文后边呢，向我们解释了 Eric 为什么必须要做鬼的原因。But he himself didn't know that he was regarded as a ghost. 但是他自己并不知道，所有人都把他当作一个鬼了。All right, now let's look at some language points in the text. Villagers believed that Endley Farm was haunted. Was haunted 在这里的意思是闹鬼。If something is haunted, it means it is troubled, either by a ghost or by a feeling or problem. 使用 haunt 这个动词可以表示被一种情感和问题困扰，不仅是闹鬼的意思。For example, he was haunted by memories of the war for the rest of his life. 他的余生都被战争的记忆所纠缠。They employed a few farmhands. Farmhands 等于 farm laborers, 农场上的劳力。No one was willing to work there long. be willing to do something, 愿意做什么事情。For example, are you willing to work on weekends? 你愿不愿意在周末工作？ Work had been done overnight. Overnight means during the night or suddenly. Overnight 的词义可以有两种，一种是说一夜之间，另外是指突然。Look at these examples. You can stay overnight at my place if you want to. 如果你愿意的话呢，可以在我这儿过夜。Here, overnight means during the night. He woke up to find that he became famous overnight. 他一睁眼呢，就发现自己已经成名了。Here, overnight means suddenly. A farm worker claimed to have seen a figure cutting corn in the moonlight. Claim means to say something that is not necessarily true. Claim 是说的意思，但是说的内容未必真实，就是声称。Look at this example. He claimed to have met the president, but nobody believed him. 他声称见到了总统，但是没有人相信他的话。To have seen a figure. Figure here means a human shape. 一个人影。我们前面几课学过这句话。One of the most colorful figures in boxing history. Figure here means character. 这里呢 figure 是人物的意思。I'll give you one more example. I could only see a dark figure in the distance. 我只能看到远处有一个黑影。Here figure, as in the text, means a dark human shape. 这里跟课文一样是人影的意思。The brothers employed a conscientious ghost. Conscientious means making painstaking efforts at all costs. 非常认真的，尽心尽力的。Look at this example. She is an excellent student, conscientious and brilliant at the same time. 说她是一个极其出色的学生，既认真又聪明。No one suspected that there might be someone else on the farm. Suspect means think something is likely. 觉得什么事情可能是真的。For example, she suspected that her husband was lying. 她怀疑她的丈夫在说谎。表示怀疑，英文中还有 doubt 这个字。注意 doubt 跟 suspect 两个字的意思不一样。We'll look at these two sentences to explain the difference. The police suspected that he was the murderer. Here it means the police tended to believe that he was the murderer. If I use doubt, the police doubted that he was the murderer. It means that the police tended not to believe that he was the murderer. So suspect means tend to believe something is true, while doubt means tend to believe something is false. Suspect 是指怀疑什么事情可能是真的 ，doubt 怀疑什么事情可能是假的。The ghost was none other than Eric Cox. None other than means nobody else but Eric. 不是别人，正是 Eric. We use none other than usually to show surprise. 这个词组呢，通常用来表示一种出人意料的结果。For example, the winner turned out to be none other than the host himself. 获胜者不是别人，原来就是主人他自己。Or we can also use not anyone other than. For example, the application form cannot be signed by anyone other than yourself. 申请表格除了你自己之外，谁也不能签字。There was no choice other than to wait. 这里的意思就是除了等待，没有其他的选择。A third brother who was supposed to have died as a young man. Suppose means believe. Believe something is likely but may be untrue. Suppose 的意思就是以为或者相信，它可以表示相信的事情是真的，有时也可以表示是假的。Look at these two examples. I always supposed him to be German, but he was actually from Sweden. 这里 suppose means believe something untrue. His latest novel is supposed to be the best of his works. 人们都认为他最新的这部小说是他最出色的作品。Here suppose means is thought or believed to be. Joe and Bob revealed a secret. Reveal 揭露了一个秘密。For example, his answer to my last question revealed the truth. 他在回答我最后一个问题的时候，暴露了真相。我们在前边一课曾经学过 reveal 的用法 ，reveal 跟这里的意思不同。The curtain revealed the aristocrat sitting alone behind bars. 这里的 reveal 是 make seen， 使什么人露出来，被看见的意思。He had been obliged to join the army. Be obliged means have to do something, or be forced to do something. 它的用法比较正规，比较书面化。Look at this example. The parents were obliged to send their children to school by the government. 根据政府的规定，父母必须送他们的孩子上学。He decided to desert his regiment. Desert means to give up. Desert 在这里是弃军而逃的意思。You can desert the army. You can also desert a person or a place. We'll look at these examples. During the war, if soldiers deserted the army and were caught, they were shot. 战争期间，如果士兵弃军而逃，被抓住的话，他们就会被枪毙。His father deserted his family when he was 10. Here, desert is used as deserting a person. 意思就是他父亲在他10岁的时候就抛弃了他的家庭。They can also desert a place. They deserted their home and left for another city. 他们离开家乡，去了另外一个城市。Fearing the authorities, Eric remained in hiding. 害怕当局。Authorities 当 authority 用作复数的时候，指当局。For example, local authorities 地方当局。Eric had been killed in action. In action here means in fighting or in war. 就是战死。如果是在战争中负伤，就可以说 wounded in action. 在战争中失踪 missing in action. All these years, Eric had lived as a recluse. Recluse means somebody who lives retired from the world. 就是隐士或者修士。英文中的 hermit 也表达这个意思。He used to sleep during the day and work at night, quite unaware of the fact that he had become the ghost. Here, unaware of the fact that means he didn't realize that he had become the ghost. Be unaware 意思就是对什么事情不知道，没有意识。我们在前几课曾经学到过它的反义词 aware 的用法。说流浪汉 he is fully aware of the consequences. 那么 unaware 后边既可以用介词 of 再加上名词或者名词性词组，也可以用 of the fact 后边加上 that 引导的从句。Look at these two examples. He seemed unaware of the trouble he had caused. 他对他惹出的麻烦毫不察觉。She remained unaware of the fact that she was being followed. 她仍然不知道她被跟踪着。这篇课文因为讲到了人们以为的情形与事实真相的不符，所以使用了几个表达以为的动词。我们来看看它们的用法。For years, villagers believed that Emtley Farm was haunted. Believe here means to think without evidence. 毫无根据的以为。No one suspected that there might be someone else on the farm. Suspect means tended to believe, less certain than believe. 这里 suspect 意思就是倾向以为怎么，比上边 believe 更加不确定。这两个动词后边都跟的是由 that 引导的从句。A third brother who was supposed to have died. Suppose means believe something wrongly, 错误地认为。它后边接的是现在完成时的不定式，表示对过去事件的揣测。除了表达错误的或者无根据的以为之外，还有表达无根据的说，就是声称这个动词 claim. A farm worker claimed to have seen a figure. 那么它的用法跟上边 suppose 一样，也是跟了一个现在完成时的不定式。Now finally, let's come back to the text itself. This text is entitled The Death of a Ghost, but it's not actually a ghost story. Even so, from the fact that all the villagers readily believed that there was a ghost, we can see that the belief in ghost was quite popular. 这篇课文虽然讲的不是鬼的故事，但是呢，从全村的人都这么轻而易举地相信有一个鬼存在，我们可以看得出来，相信鬼存在的人还是很多的。This should not only be regarded as a superstition. Superstition 就是迷信。我们不应当只把这种东西看作一种迷信。It is actually very much related to the Westerners' religious belief. 这其实是跟宗教信仰相关的。信教的人相信人死之后会有一个来世，来世在英文中就是 afterlife. The body is dead, but the soul is everlasting. 所以人们相信，在人死之后，灵魂上天堂或者下地狱之前，有这么一个中间的阶段，用来了结人世间的夙愿。闹鬼呢，通常也是出于这个原因。So often, a ghost will haunt the place where he or she was alive, especially when he or she still had some unfulfilled wishes. 那么有很多传说都是根据这个写成的。前几年比较流行的好莱坞电影《Ghost》也是这样的情节。Okay, so much on this topic of ghost. Bye for now.